Hello, welcome Renegade Con convention attendees, and thank you so much for attending. My name is Dan Bojanowski, senior producer here at Renegade Games, and we've got a lot of great stuff to talk to you about, specifically talking about G.I. Joe and all the fancy tabletop games we've got coming out for you this year. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're going to be covering today, we've got 3 games we're going to be talking about. And in order, we're going to be talking about the deck building game, and then Mission Critical, and finally the role-playing game. So stay tuned to get all the information, a deep dive into what Scott and Sarah talked about at the beginning of this convention. So joining me now to talk about the deck building game and Mission Critical is associate producer Jimmy, who's been working on these games for quite a while now and has a lot to share.
All right,
hey, Jimmy.
Thanks, Dan. Oh boy, where do we start? Let's start with the deck building game first. We've got, as Scott and Sarah mentioned, the first small box expansion for the G.I. Joe deck building game, Shadow of the Serpent. So, Serpentor's here, ready to rock. Good luck, Joes. It's tough.
Nice. That cover is awesome.
Yep, this game has a lot of art by the wonderful Robert Atkins, who has just been a absolute rock star and a legend in the G.I. Joe comic book world.
I love every day going into our Slack channels and checking in on the G.I. Joe stuff and seeing everything that Robert puts together, especially these covers. There's so much going on, so dynamic, and they really fit the property well. So
yeah,
this is a great one.
Part of me was really wondering if, like, hey, Robert, can I just buy the original for this? But turns out that Scott had already got the inside scoop on that, and I'm not going to fight with the boss on that. So
yeah, he calls dibs.
So
what's inside this expansion? What's cool about it?
So Serpentor is like the biggest threat that the G.I. Joe team has ever faced up to this point. So we wanted to build a mechanic that would focus around letting the entire organization come together as a team and really share all of the logistics. So there's a new mechanic where you can buy big ticket items as a group. So our first card here that we're going to show is General Hawk. He's one of the new starting characters that you can use. His ability here reads, you get +4 when buying group items, and you can reduce that for each player in the game. So if you're playing solo, you get a big bonus there. Little harder when you're playing with a big team because you're already naturally able to pool your resources together. Now,
so let's pause for a moment, Jimmy. If people aren't familiar with the deck building game, the G.I. Joe deck building game, let's back up, because there could be some role-playing game fans who aren't familiar with what was launched. Can you tell us a little bit about what style of gameplay it is and what it does, what you do in the game?
So as members of the G.I. Joe team, you're recruiting new Joes, getting new equipment, building new strategies in your deck, and every turn you're going off on missions, trying to fight off Cobra, beat up their mooks, stop their forces from taking over the world. You'll go through a total of 9 different missions, randomized, so that every time that you play this game, the odds of you playing the exact same mission are very, very, very slim. So better math people can do it for me, but I think the odds of you running the exact same missions in the exact same order is something in the threshold of 1 out of 2,000 something.
Nice
odds. So yeah, lots of different.
And this is fully cooperative, right?
Correct. It is a fully cooperative deck building game.
Awesome. Okay.
So group mechanics or group items. There are some of these big ticket items, such as this vehicle, the Bridge Layer, that you can all as a team just pool your resources together and pay for these items, and they have a ton of really powerful effects going on, but it's harder to get on your own. So it's another level of working together as a team, pooling your resources so that you can have this big shared asset. Being
this was one of my favorite toys as a kid. This bridge layer, I love this thing. I just love like the concept of just laying a bridge over something and bringing it with you. It was just the coolest toy ever.
I remember the first time I saw this toy, I was just like, what is this?
What is it doing?
What's going on? And then I saw it in real life. It was like, oh my God, they did the thing. Since these cards come up in like a deck building game market row, so there's maybe a chance that you don't even see a lot of group items pop up. So we did something really cool, and we started building or putting together elements of the G.I. Joe Command Center.
Nice.
And these are map tiles that like sit off onto the side of the game, and as you build them, you flip them over, and they give you lots of new effects. So, for example, here's one set of the Command Center, which is the laser cannon. You can buy this as a team, and it gives you, or whenever you're going on missions, you can have some little laser fire support there to help take out some extra bad guys for you. There are 5 total pieces of the Command Center that you can lay it together. The fun thing about this is that all these map tiles are based off of the old G.I. Joe Command Center toy. So if you put all of them together, it looks and has that same footprint of the action figure Command Center toy set.
Nice. So you're actually building it as the game goes on.
Correct. And as you pool resources into it, you'll have a bunch of extra powerful effects that will make it easier to succeed in the game. But Cobra's not just going to stand for that. They're going to keep on trying to mess you up. They're going to send sabotage missions to try and destroy parts of the Command Center. And there's a fun little twist in the Shadow of the Serpent expansion here, where we're going to start seeing some red ninjas here, some Cobra Trooper ninjas.
Ninjas.
So,
that guy looks
these
awesome.
Oh man, I love this art. This is so great. That axe, all the smoke and everything like that, love it. Cobra Troopers that are ninjas will do 2 things. They're gonna either show up in your mission area and like make you fight them, or 2, they're gonna show up inside of your command center and start blocking off spaces and making you have to fight them and clear out your command center before you can get any uses out of it.
Nice. So these replace the Cobra Troopers from the base game if you're using this?
They will be in addition to.
In addition to, okay, so mixed in. Cool.
So yeah, I don't want to talk too much more about this expansion for fear of spoiling too much and or giving away any of the mission parameters or anything like that. So yeah, this is G.I. Joe Shadow of the Serpent. We are expecting, or this is up for pre-order now. So head over to our webpage and you can pre-order this. There is a bonus pack if you do, and it comes with 2 promo cards and a cool little 3D backdrop that will come with, or that will you'll be able to set in front of your command center to get that 3D lift.
Nice. When is this expected to release?
I believe June.
June, so not too long.
Nope, not too long. Scott and Sarah did also talk about the next expansion that is coming out.
The next one.
Later.
Oh my!
I don't have a whole lot to share about this. It's a little early, but yeah, we've got the Cold Snap expansion coming out, and art by this was also done by Robert Atkins. We also had Chris Campana do some art on the cards for this, and it's just stellar. We've got, as you can see by the theme, we've got a lot of ice going on. There's a new terrain type that you'll be able to explore and deal with. We've got two main missions here. You're dealing with the Dreadnoks and you're dealing with the Weather Dominator. I'm not sharing any more details beyond that. So have fun. It's wacky. There's a lot of crazy things going on, and good luck with this one as well.
So is this one up for pre-order yet or not yet?
I do not believe it is.
And when do you anticipate this one coming out?
I can't say honestly, but keep an eye out on our webpage, Renegade Games. Hopefully soon, TM.
So probably fallish.
We're expecting, I think, yeah, fallish.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for that look at the deck building game. But now we recently announced, Scott was on the Hasbro Pulse update a week or so ago and announced some pretty big news about a new game, the G.I. Joe Mission Critical. And you've been producing this game. So what can you tell us about G.I. Joe Mission Critical?
All right, so very excited about this game. G.I. Joe Mission Critical runs off of the Guardian system. For those of you who are aware of Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, it runs off of the same system. We just gave it a name finally. The premise of this game is that you are playing members of the G.I. Joe team and traveling all over the world to stop Cobra forces as they show up in the cities across the world, or locations across the world. For example, New York City here is one of the locations that we're going to be actively defending. And as Cobra troops show up, they will be trying to incite panic and throw the world into mayhem.
Nice.
Your job as the G.I. Joe team is to stop them.
Nice. So this is cooperative as well?
Yes, this is fully cooperative. It plays 1 to 5 players. You can, and because the systems are, or the Guardian systems are meant to be compatible, you can go ahead and mix and match, do your crossovers, however you like. There's some slight adaptations.
So Jimmy, that's a good question. Good point. If I'm familiar with the Guardian system from Heroes of the Grid, can you shed some light on how Mission Critical is different? What is there anything different about it, or is it just straight up the same mechanics?
Mechanically, it is, I would say 93.5% the same. That's a very
93.5, huh?
Yeah, very specific number.
That is very
don't
specific.
ask me for my math.
Show your work.
Yeah, so we're going to go into locations, and this is one of the differences on how it works. As the game goes, or in Heroes of the Grid, each foot soldier is locked into a specific location tile. In Mission Critical, we've made an update to the system where you will basically assign each type of foot soldier, so your Cobra troopers in this case, and Crimson Guard will each have their own like unique identifying mark. And what this means is that any foot soldier can go to any map tile. So I can have Cobra troopers showing up in Angel Grove, or I can have them showing up in New York City to defend against Cobra, wherever it may be.
Interesting. Very cool.
So yeah, we've got a couple of new locations, some, again, really great art by Robert Atkins, New York City on screen here. We've also got, or all of these locations are meant to be just agnostic, and you'll be able to have like city locations, military locations, science locations, Cobra strongholds, enemy strongholds that you can go ahead and attack and defend. And one of my favorite parts is just how well the like the setting really works for this type of game. And there's just so much room for expanded content that we are really looking forward to diving into and sharing.
Right, nice.
So
this game uses minis, huh?
Oh yeah, we got some great.
You got any minis we could show?
Yeah, sure. Let's pull up the next one. This is, we've got Cover Girl here, who is one of my favorite characters. in this set. If you know her from the series, she is a super skilled tank driver. She drives the Wolverine, but frankly, you could probably put her behind the wheel of anything and she will just rock. Now, her stick in this game is playing around with vehicles, and this is the other adaptation which is other change from Heroes of the Grid. Instead of having Zords, we've got a ton of vehicles that the G.I. Joe team can go ahead and hop into. So, for example, here's the Dragonfly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Missiles ablazing.
Yep, and here is the flap. And how the vehicle system in Mission Critical works is that you're going to have a ton of cards in a vehicle deck and a market of available ones, up to 3. In the top right or top left corner of each card is a vehicle cost, and that is how many defeated foot soldiers it takes to launch that vehicle. So Zords would normally normally takes you 6 foot soldiers to get a Zord. There are variable costs to all of the vehicles, so your Jeep, your Vamp, not going to take much to bring to battle. You want to bring the Mobat to bear? That's going to take a lot of effort. So,
and is that the number of foot soldiers that you need to spend one time to use it one time, or you use them and then you have that vehicle for the rest of the game?
It is a one shot. So as soon as you use that vehicle, it'll go into a discard pile, and then when it's time to reload the deck, all the vehicles are going to go back and get reshuffled up, and then you'll refill the market row. Imagine your tank having to go back to the pit and reload, refuel, get more guns.
Very interesting.
All right, so just wanting to show off some more minis. Here, next up, we've got the Cobra Trooper here. You're going to see a lot of these guys. They're going to be all up in your face about it. And frankly, they're one of the things that I really appreciate about this game is that they're just unapologetically mean. There are so many of these guys, and they will not stop coming at you. And even meaner is when they're backed up by like some really hard-hitting lieutenants, such as Major Blood here, one of my favorite villains. Mustache twirling is like probably the most appropriate way that I would describe this guy, but man, he does not play nice. But yeah, a lot of these sculpts, they are nice, big, chunky sculpts, and I believe 48 millimeters is the size for these scales. So really big.
Yeah, that's a good note, is that when we did Heroes of the Grid, we purposely chose larger minis than your standard 28 millimeters for like role-playing game bases, because we thought there would be a lot of people who were kind of newer to painting minis, and we wanted to make it very accessible to them to try to paint these minis. And the same applies here with these G.I. Joe minis, is that if you're new to painting, these are very forgiving. They're larger scale, larger size. So we encourage you to dive right in and give it a try, because it's a whole lot of fun and it looks great on the table and enhances your experience too.
Yeah. So we've got there's a deep roster of just wacky G.I. Joe villains here. So for example, we've got Dr. Mindbender here with his big swirling cape and his mind control wand.
That cape is epic.
Oh yeah, it's so cool. When I was holding the prototype miniature in my hand, I could not believe how cool that actually came out. Expect a lot of really interesting mechanics built around the themes of these characters. So, you know, your mind controlling Cobra secret scientist. Have fun.
Yeah. I can imagine what might happen.
Yeah. During the Scott's Hasbro Pulse presentation, he showed off the miniature for Cobra Commander, but I just wanted to show off a piece of art for one of his combat cards. Here he is, just commanding a bunch of Cobra troopers and Crimson Guard to just do his evil bidding for him.
Nice.
I don't blame him. His suit's probably tailored. It's very nice. I wouldn't want to mess it up either. So
Yeah.
um,
Very nice.
so there is one expansion set to come out at launch, and we haven't shown much about it, but here's one of the minis for it. It's Gung Ho. So get ready to blow some things up with his grenade launcher, and yeah, have a whole lot of fun with that too.
Nice. So as you said, this is an expansion that is coming out at the same time
Correct.
during the pre-order campaign. So we are, if any of this excites you about the Mission Critical, if you want to get more information on the Renegade website, I think on the second banner is a pre-order, not a pre. I don't think it's pre-order yet. It's sign up for more information, and then as soon as we put more information up about the pre-order, that will go out to everybody who's signed up there, so you can be among the first to know. Jimmy, there's also a special figure that is going to be given away to everybody who does the pre-order. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in celebration of the 40th anniversary of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, we wanted to do something really cool, and especially since our timing worked out absolutely perfectly with this, we wanted to do a tribute to the 1980s action figure release of Snake Eyes. So when you pre-order this, you'll get one miniature and one card in cool, retro, nostalgic packaging that I am super excited for. Like, I looked at
it looks
when
just like a carded figure. We don't have an image of the packaging, but it looks just like the 1980s carded figure of Snake Eyes. Awesome.
Yep. So, and yeah, I have the prototype of the miniature here. I hope my webcam is good enough resolution to capture that, but yeah, we were doing the iconic art from the 1980s packaging. So I'm really thrilled for that to come out, and yeah, yo Joe.
Awesome. Yo Joe. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy, for talking to us about the deck building game and Mission Critical. Those are very exciting games and expansions to come out. But now it's time to talk about RPGs. So Jimmy and I are going to leave, and we're going to be joined. You are going to be joined by Trivia and Ryan. So they've got some goodies to spoil for you. So thank you all for joining us, and let's talk about RPGs.
Hello. Are we transferred over? Awesome. Ryan, I think you are still muted. Hi. Thank you, Dan and Jimmy, for all of that. It's so awesome to see all of the deck builder and Mission Critical. And hello, I am Trivia, associate producer of RPGs at Renegade, and I'm here with Ryan, one of our amazing writers.
Hello. Now, Trivia, I don't know if you realize this, but this past Wednesday was the 40th anniversary of the first issue of G.I. Joe.
Incredible. I did not realize that.
Yeah, the G.I. Joe comic book was groundbreaking, and now here we are 40 years later. We are about to debut the first official G.I. Joe role-playing game.
Are you so excited?
You do not know how excited I am, Trivia. I would be excited about this as a fan, but to have contributed to this in such a big way, I cannot wait to get it in my hands. I cannot wait to see other people with it in their hands.
Well, would you like to see it? Because I got my copy yesterday, and I'm so oh no, my virtual
green
background.
Screen.
Oh, wait, the artifice has been broken. Well, okay, this is a real life book. If I put it just in front of me, it's a real life book, and it actually exists, and it will be in everyone else's hands, hopefully by the end of this month. And I also, let's see if the same thing happens here. Let's give it a shot. The deluxe version, I'm so close to my camera, it doesn't know what to do, but you can, you can see the beautiful foil if I get it at just the right angle. No, it's not gonna work, but I can promise that the image that we have on the web store is like a very good example of how shiny it looks, and it's beautiful. The cover is nice and thick. I can't wait for everyone to crack it open and start playing. So
yeah, I'm not surprised that the special edition cover was eaten up by a green screen. I am surprised at the Steve Morris artwork.
Yeah,
that
you'd
one also
think
did
that
not
one-
register.
Apparently my black shirt is just making sure that it doesn't know what to do. But awesome. So yeah, let's get into everything that we've got coming. The next thing that oh wait, no, I have an art preview. That's the next thing I have
Yes.
for you. So Ryan, you requested specifically this art preview. So we have if you could go to the next slide, pretty please. Yes, so this is the technician artwork from the inside of the book. And so technician is one of the roles that you can play. And Ryan, do you want to talk a little bit about this? Why is this your
Sure.
favorite?
So, well, this is, I wrote the technician. It's one of the 3 roles that I wrote. So along with Ben and Paige, who were the co-authors on the book, I wrote the officer, the ranger, and the technician. And technician is absolutely my favorite role. About half of the times that I come up with a new character concept, I'm like, oh, that's just another technician. This would be another great technician character. And specifically what I love about this art, not only is Lifeline in the background there, and Lifeline was one of my favorites as a kid, but front and center is Mirage. And Mirage is a fairly obscure Mega Marine character. He came out in the late 90s, or well, later end of the line, but he was the JoJo's first weapon engineer. And so he has a function on the team that is really important to the role-playing game. And so he made the cut on the active roster. And I love that, like, so much of the art we've previewed is a lot of the A-listers and the B-listers, but I like that we also have room for some of the characters that are, let's go down to the Q-listers for someone like Mirage.
Some deep cuts.
Exactly. So for Mirage to make the cut look so awesome, doing exactly what his file card says he does, this makes me excited.
Yes, I'm really, I love that, you know, when I'm reading through your documents and everything, I'll be like, who the heck is that guy? You know, and I get to go on a rabbit hole, like learning about all of these characters that I don't know anything about. And so, yeah, so I'm going to go quickly through the stuff that maybe people already know about so we can get into all the juicy things. So I also wanted to show off the preview of our dice set, which I do not have a date on this one. This one's coming from overseas versus the core rule book, which we were able to print domestically. So this one's probably on a boat. But yeah, so here's the custom dice. The highest value on each die is the G.I. Joe star. Then we also have your D2 there with G.I. Joe star for the highest value and Oops Cobra for the lowest on that one. And to house your beautiful custom dice, we of course have a dice bag. So those are also on the way. And then, so the next piece of like adventure content is gonna be the Emerald Oubliette Adventure and GM screen. And so these are currently with the printer. I do not have a estimated time that they're going to be in, but they are, you know, out. They're happening. So this is a full color GM screen that has great like reference info inside to help you at the table keep everything together. You don't have to flip back and forth through the book, as well as a adventure that's ready to go after you finish the adventure that's in the core rule book. So you didn't write this one.
No,
Ryan.
Brian wrote this one,
Yes.
but you revealed the cover to this adventure months ago with no information about what it went to. You even kind of alluded to the fact that here's a mysterious piece of art for you to ponder, and I didn't know what it was. So even I was like, well, that looks awesome. The Rattler shooting at some sharks while they're chasing a couple of ferrets. That sounds like a great scene, but I don't know what this is for. I can't wait to find out what adventure this is in.
So I don't want to spoil anything, but in this adventure, you do go to the jungles to go and deal with some cobra shenanigans. So I think this will be a fun one to include, and it's a shorter adventure, but it's perfect to do after the core rulebook. And I think I didn't include a full size of this cover in this panel, but I do have the full size at our second panel tomorrow. So if you want to see this one all big and beautiful outside of the Renegade web store experience, you could head on over to the panel tomorrow and I'll show that off.
And you know what? Since you're showing off a GM screen, it is International GM Day. So if you know somebody that you are really trying to encourage to GM you for a G.I. Joe role-playing game, this is a great gift / bribe to get them to see the value. Because not only will they get the adventure that's in the core rulebook, this will give them a second adventure, so that by the time they've run these 2 adventures, they'll have a real good feel for the system. And the GM screen will also help them with, like, you know, the core rulebook is like 300 some odd pages. So to be able to digest all of that before your first session, it's a lot. So the GM screen is the good sheet to get you to familiarize you with the Essence 20 system and the G.I. Joe mechanics specifically, as you become more and more familiar with the game that we're playing here.
Absolutely. And I did want to say that the core rulebook and then also Emerald Oubliette will be available on Roll20 for those of you who play online. So the Roll20 version will be out a bit later than the physical version. They are currently working on sheet development for that. And you have to have a character sheet so you can get all those beautiful custom rolls out first. So keep an eye on it. It'll absolutely be there and be supported on Roll20. And so, yeah, let's go to our next item. We've got our miniatures. So these are brand new. We haven't really talked about these before, minus the panel earlier today with Scott and Sarah. So this is set 1 of our hero minis. So we've got 12 gorgeous 3D miniatures for your table. They're going to be ready to paint. We've got a selection of, again, some of the really well-known Joes like Scarlet and Lady J and such, and then we've also got some lesser-known Joes. Like, I really like Rock and Roll from this set. I think he turned out great. He's like that 28 millimeters, like at the eye line, and then he's just got gun on top of that for his huge machine gun. So I cannot wait for everybody to paint those up custom for those characters and like start seeing those on our Facebook group and everything. So I hope you enjoy.
Now, you said set 1. It even says set 1 on the box.
Wow, incredible stuff. I wonder if that means that there may be more in the future.
It's not 1 of 1?
No. I don't have any future plans that I can share with you, but as Scott said earlier today, like, this is a game line that's we're gonna continue supporting with awesome additional stuff. So you may see more minis in the future.
Actually, I just want to give a quick shout out to someone in the G.I. Joe Discord. Let me see if I can grab their name. It was Nick J. Found a promotional image that actually has a picture of all 12 miniatures, which I think is the first time some of those have been revealed. So if you don't have that picture trivia, I think people can just go to the G.I. Joe section of the Renegade Discord and see for themselves who all the characters are that made it into the first box.
It's also on the web store, and it's one of the preview images. So front of the box is what we're showing you now. The back of the box shows all of the characters. And awesome, thank you for bringing that up. So the next cool thing we've got for you is another accessory. And so Scott and Sarah talked about this a little bit, but the character journal for G.I. Joe, very close to being able to show that off, but not quite yet today. So this is a 6x8 journal. It'll have a little similar treatment to the deluxe, but not quite. And inside is expanded, like an expanded character sheet to give you lots of space to write everything down, and then an additional, 20 something pages of character prompts. So you can write down like, what was my story before, like how did I get recruited to Joe? Like what were my hobbies as a kid? Like how did I, become a student or a martial artist, or whatever influences and origins and such contribute towards my character. So it's a really great way to like just get deep into that character creation.
It's so appropriate to G.I. Joe, because the most famous character from G.I. Joe is Snake Eyes, who lost his ability to verbalize because of an injury. And the only times we really got Snake Eyes' thoughts in the comic was when he was writing in his journal, including the last issue of the comic is just Snake Eyes doing a journal, kind of reflecting on G.I. Joe being shuttered for a little while. They came back, but yeah, so I know that we're doing these journals, these character journals for all of the brands, but the G.I. Joe one specifically really hits home.
Yeah, and while we were designing it, Ryan, you brought up like the front should totally look like a stat card, right? Like the
Yep.
cards that come in the thing. So that
File
was
cards.
yes, file cards. Thank you. So you'll have a little file card just for your Joe. So
I
that's
have been
gonna
using the
be
file card format for role-playing game characters my whole life. It is just like 2 paragraphs about their backstory and their abilities. It is the perfect length for summarizing your character. So seeing this come full circle just makes me giddy.
All right, and so the next thing that we can talk about is Operation Cold Iron.
Yes.
So this is going to be the first full adventure for G.I. Joe. So this is going to be a 4-part adventure. It's going to take you from levels 1 to 2. In case you,
Nope.
is it just 2?
3 to 6.
3 to 6. All right. Okay. I'll take a peek at that. Sorry, we haven't finished designing the entire cover yet. So I was basing this off a different one. So
No,
yeah.
the idea is you play the adventure that's in the core rulebook, Snake Pit, then you play Emerald Oubliette, and then you will be ready to jump off onto Operation Cold Iron with your level 3 characters.
And yeah, so in G.I. Joe role-playing game, it's not as much, you're gaining XP points, and once you hit 3,000 XP, you level up. It's built on a milestone system. So when you finish an important task or a leg of your adventure, then you get to level up. So there you go, milestone 1 in the core rulebook, milestone 2 in Emerald Oubliette, and then you start with your 3rd in Cold Iron. So yeah, so this is a 4-part adventure. And Ryan, tell us more about what's inside this.
All right, well, so it is a world-trotting adventure. It takes your squad from the fiery deserts of Addis Ababa to the frozen plateaus of Siberia. You get behind the wheels of classic G.I. Joe vehicles like the Polar Battle Bear and the Snowcat. You face off against iconic Cobra tech like the Hiss Tank and Snake Armor. And of particular note for this, from my point of view, is the authors list. So first of all, it reunites the 3 authors from the G.I. Joe core rulebook, myself, Ben, and Paige. But it also brings in a name that G.I. Joe fans or people in the G.I. Joe fan community will recognize. It is Justin Bell. So on top of being the author of the Storm's Fury and Breaking Point novels, Justin Bell has been an influencer for G.I. Joe since years before influencer was a word. At one point, he was having video calls with Hasbro about the direction the line could go in. The reason that we got Breaker in the G.I. Joe movie instead of High Tech, who was the technician at the time, is because of conversations with people like Justin. So Justin has had he's had his fingerprints all over the G.I. Joe brand for a long time. But despite being a published author, he's never gotten to write officially on G.I. Joe. And so this is his first G.I. Joe credit. It is super exciting for me. Justin is a great guy who's been contributing to the G.I. Joe community for years. And so to be able to bring him in on a project like this is very exciting for me personally.
That's so cool. I have read through the adventure, working on art for it, and it sounds super fun. And I actually get to show you all the cover for that one. So
I haven't seen the cover for this one.
Oh no! Well, look forward to seeing the cover right now for Operation Cold Iron. Yeah, so this is done by Steve Morris, who did the core rulebook cover as well. So we talked about Snake Armor and we talked about Snowy Siberia, and here we go. So this is one of the encounters that you may have in Operation Cold Iron.
It's also exciting. We've got Flint and Lady J, 2 of my favorite characters. Snake Eyes is in there. I believe this is CoverGirl in the front here.
Yes, sorry, I'm looking at it really small on the thing, and I've absolutely slept since looking at this the last time. But yeah, so we've got CoverGirl up front, Lady J, Flint, and
Snow Job in the front, looks like Blizzard in the
yes,
back by the battle bear. Ah, this is cool.
yes.
That's a
So
great mix of characters.
I'm very excited to show this off with all of the beautiful text and everything as well, but that'll come soon. Um,
I wonder who's in the snake armor.
I wonder. I hope we find out soon. And then the other big announcement that we have, if you could move to the next slide, please, is what's coming after Operation Cold Iron, which is, of course, Cobra. And so that oh no, the reveal.
Let's do this.
There was a dramatic reveal. Incredible, right?
Thank you. You don't know how many times I adjusted my chair to make sure that I was in frame.
So yes, after Operation Cold Iron will be Cobra. So we've got a Cobra source book, and then to match everything else, we're going to have a deluxe version of the Cobra book. It's going to have a slip case that comes with it, so it will fit your deluxe GI Joe book next to your deluxe Cobra source book, and just be beautiful foil stamped on your shelf. And we also will have dice and a dice bag, which I can show off. So we've got the dice bag here, simple. And then the dice are Cobra dice. So where there once was a Joe symbol, now there is a Cobra, because when you are a Cobra, why would you want to have a Joe as your number one number on your die? So yeah, so the Cobra source book, can you talk just the tiniest little baby bit about
Sure,
what's going into that?
I can answer that blasted Saphamilaflage. Sorry, I'm not getting that right. But their question in chat is players as Cobra. So yes, this is one part a campaign book for GMs that are just looking for more information on the Cobra organization. And it is one part, if you want to flip the script, if you want to be Cobra, you have fully playable Cobra options. There's new focus options for each of the roles from the G.I. Joe core rulebook. There's new vehicles that you can use. There's new equipment options. And there's a whole slew of options for if you want cybernetics or genetic alterations, because these are things that Cobra's been messing in for a long time. And then Nakotin is asking if there's going to be Cobra Law in there. So, sort of. It's Cobra Law is alluded to as this rumor about strange things that some people in Cobra talk about, as though there is this prehistoric root to the organization. And while there are no stat blocks for the specific Cobra Law characters, the alteration rules can definitely be used to create citizens of Cobra Law. So if you want Nemesis Enforcer, you can get wings, you can be an oversized character. Anyway, I think that's as much specific details as I'm comfortable going into right now. I just know that this was a really fun book to write. I'm the author on this book as well. And the combination of just like gushing about everything that's cool about Cobra, but also what's not so cool about Cobra, and mixing it all in there. And it's not a standalone book, sorry, as the first expansion, the real expansion source book for the G.I. Joe role-playing game.
Yeah, so for Operation Cold Iron and the Cobra source book, that will require the G.I. Joe core rulebook to play. For the RPGs, it's very rare that we'll do anything standalone, so it's expected that everything will get paired with the core rulebook. And yeah, so that's actually all of my slides. But I think I helped us make up a little bit of time after the huge amount of reveals. But Ryan and I will also be talking more about the RPG tomorrow. We have a how to play panel where we'll be going through some actual gameplay to show how everything works. Oh, there's a good question. Is there a mechanic for doing a post-adventure PSA, Ryan? Did you write that down?
I can say that the sidebars are all called Now You Know, and then the title of the sidebar.
It's true.
And I can answer Digi Desperado 26's question, but whether there's a perk that gives you a bonus for yelling Cobra. Yes, in fact, both G.I. Joe and Cobra get a bonus for using their battle cry.
Yes, every Joe has a battle cry that they get to use. So I look forward to seeing if people come up with custom ones or if they stick with the classics. But awesome. Okay, great. Then I think we're good. Thank you, everybody. Please go talk in the Discords. Check out our Facebook groups. If you're not sure where to find something, go to renegadegames.com. You will find everything there. And get your pre-orders in. We always try to do great bonuses. So, you know, for the books, it'll be a free PDF, things like that. And then check out Roll20 if you like to play your games on a digital interface. So we will see you. Thank you so much for being here, and stick around. Next is the World of Darkness Rivals reveal. So if you are into card games, you will not want to miss that. I'm gonna stick around. I want to see what Rivals cards are coming. I can't wait. So all right, thank you so much.